Yes, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Tribe UG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite football updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back with you on this beautiful Friday morning, the 24th of April 2026. Apologies for being late because we should have started this more than 30 minutes ago, possibly almost an hour, but I caught up. I got caught up. That's just the honest bit. But nonetheless, like we oftentimes say, better late than never. So we are glad to be back for yet another edition on your favorite football updates channel to discuss the latest stuff from the world of sport. And then in this particular episode, we're going to be looking forward to the we're going to be looking forward to the weekend in regards to what's to come. Yesterday, we did have a conversation about the so many season-ending injuries that have started to pop up all over the place. We talked about the implications of those injuries, some to the effect of the World Cup, others, and what the implications will be for their teams, and things like that. So, on that note, therefore, I wish to say thank you so much to all those of you that managed to catch last night's broadcast. It was really, really nice seeing you. Yesterday we only had one broadcast. So for those of you that were able to make it, I appreciate you a great deal. Now, this morning, because it's a Friday, we get to start look into the weekend because it's going to be a blockbuster weekend in as far as English football is concerned. We have two semi-finals in the FA Cup between Manchester City and Southampton, and then Chelsea against Leeds United. In the Premier League, match day 34 sort of continues. We had some midweek games in which Man City beat up against Burnley by 1-0. Chelsea were obliterated by Brighton and Hove Albion, who beat them by 3-0. And then the other game ended, I think, in a goalless draw between Crystal Palace and West Ham. So, that was a Monday night football match. The other was between AFC Bournemouth beating up against Leeds by 2-1. No, it ended 2-2. Okay, yeah, it ended 2-2. So there's all that. Good morning, you Miss Zeto Crash. Miss Zeto Crash, hi, how are you doing? Why are you joining us from this beautiful morning? For those of you that are just joining us, my name is Robert Kesakos, and I come to you live from Kampala, Uganda, in case you're wondering. Kindly leave me a like on the broadcast, but also please consider subscribing to the channel if it is your first time here. It's not going to hurt your fingers if you leave me a like on this broadcast. But anything you do to support this channel will be much appreciated. So, Football Tribe UG is a football channel. It's a sports channel. We get to talk about soccer or football, depending on what your interest is. Miss Zeto says, what's your name? Like I said, my name is Robert K. Sarkos, and I come to you live from Kampala, Uganda. So, in the wake of those midweek games, those were the results. Like I stated, Bournemouth 2-2 against Leeds, Man City winning, and Brighton winning against Chelsea. Now, the Brighton game of victory culminated into the sacking of Liam Rosenior at Chelsea. Barca or Real Madrid? It's Real Madrid for me, and Barca for so many others. I respect that. I do have a friend from Spain here. Actually, two of them. Although the other is not from Spain, but the one from Spain is called Pedri. He's a Barcelona fan. The other also calls himself Pedri, but he's not from Spain, at least to the best of my knowledge. He's a Barcelona fan. So yeah, Haram Madrid. How about you, Miss Zeto? How about you? So this weekend, or action will start as early as this Friday, because in the Premier League there's a game between Sunderland and Nottingham Forest. That game will kick off at 10 p.m. Then also, in the other news, other than the games, today, the 24th of April, AFTV's crew of Robbie Lyle, Seso, Lee Judges, and the other crew are expected to arrive in Uganda for their 6-day tour, in which they will be doing two watch parties for Arsenal games. Arsenal versus Newcastle, and then Atletico de Madrid versus Arsenal. I'm yet to ascertain the details and facts of where those games are going to be, or where those watch parties will be, but that's the update in case any of you is interested in that information. Muhammad says, hola, hello from Indonesia. Okay, hi, how are you doing? How is Indonesia, Muhammad? Apologies, my I don't know what language you wrote in, but thank God I have the translator to revert for me in English. Anyways, back to the conversation. So then on Saturday, because remember, guys, there's no Premier League games on Sunday, so please take note of that. But there will be a Monday night football game that's between Manchester United and Brentford. It will kick off at 10 p.m. In between there, what, you can speak English? Yes, I can speak English. Miss Zeto says goodbye. Hi, Miss Zeto, I hope you've liked the broadcast before you part ways with us and have also subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. So, Fulham on Saturday in the early kickoff at 2:30 p.m. Apologies, everyone. That's unintended. It's the cause of my frustration. Because it's happened so many times over the last couple of days that our stream gets interrupted by internet glitches. The reason that's why it's frustrating for me as is that you lose your audience. You lose once people are checking and it's not coming through. You're tuned into radio and then their signal goes off. You move on to the next station. You may hang in for a minute or two, but with these strips. So that's the frustrating bit for me. But anyways, let me hope I can somehow find the courage to move on. I do not know what's happened in between that period. So anyways, guys, we'll carry on with the broadcast. But I can see the feed is not good. I can see the feed is not good. Let me see if we can have our audios tested and have an improvement on what is happening. Otherwise, it's not looking good on my side of things. It doesn't look pretty. Looks like I'm having a glitch. Again, it's because of my bandwidth looking poor. I hope it is reflecting differently on your side. I hope it's reflecting differently on your side. Really, really, it's not very encouraging on my part. Oh, come on. Okay, let me see if I can make a switch to my networks. Guys, I'm just trying to see if I can have a better connection. I know you guys can hear me, but I don't know if you're getting a good image. Because for my test dashboard, things are not looking good. Let me know if you're experiencing any glitches in regards to audio quality, in regards to image quality, because the bandwidth on my side is really, really slow. So it's affecting how you possibly are receiving the message on that end. So let me know if there are any glitches that you think I ought to address. But if everything does check out for you, then allow me to proceed with the conversation. We're done going through the list of fixtures. So like I said, just to make a recap, because I do not know where we left off when we had that internet glitch. So for those of you that are just joining the channel, my name is Robert Kesakos, and I do come to you live from Kampala, Uganda. It's already 11 minutes past the hour of 10 a.m. and we're looking towards the weekend, which is bound to have so many action. And like we said, on Saturday, early kickoff is between Fulham and Aston Villa at 2:30 p.m. Well, at 5, we'll have as many as 3 games. Liverpool taking on Crystal Palace, Everton playing away to West Ham, while Wolverhampton Wanderers, who have already been confirmed to have been relegated, I will be taking on Tottenham Hotspur, who still have their fate to fight for. And the result in the game from the Tottenham Hotspurs has a great significance to what the result will be in the West Ham game, because West Ham take on a very, very difficult or stubborn Everton side. And then Arsenal, in the late kickoff of Saturday, will be taking on Newcastle, while Manchester United will play on Monday night in Monday Night Football at 10:30 p.m. Sorry, at 10 p.m. So we're going to be previewing those games going through and through. Then, of course, we'll also in the Spanish La Liga, there will be a game tonight. That's at 10 p.m. Real Betis will be up against Real Madrid. So make sure not to miss out on that action. In the Italian Serie A, Napoli take on Cremonese, while in the German Bundesliga, RB Leipzig take on Union Berlin. In the French League One, Brest take on RC Lens. That's for the Friday fixture. So do not miss out on any of that, because in the Premier League, it's Sunderland against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest still fighting for their survival in as far as the Premier League is concerned. They may be pretty pleased by themselves that they're into the semi-finals of the UEFA Europa League, for which next week on Thursday, they'll be taking on Aston Villa in the first leg at the City Ground. But they still have a task on their hands to fight for their survival in as far as the Premier League is concerned. Things are not looking pretty. They're not too ugly. Having won 4-1 against Burnley the previous weekend, but the battle is far from being done, because if they lose tomorrow and West Ham win, then possibly we may not see a swap in places on the table, but it does put them under more pressure with then what will be 4 games left to play in as far as the season is concerned. So please bear that in mind. Then, sorry. So let's get it all started with the previews. Sunderland versus Nottingham Forest. Like I said, it's Nottingham Forest that want this game more, but Sunderland do not come any better than a party spoiler, because literally beyond a better place finish, they do not have much to fight for. However, I must acknowledge that it's only 3 points that separates them because Sunderland are 11th on the table, but only 3 points separate them from a 7th place AFC Bournemouth. So in terms of league positions, they still have something to fight for. But in terms of the significance of what's at stake, I do not think Sunderland have any ambitions that preponderate what Nottingham Forest have on hand when it comes to fighting for their survival. One is fighting for their survival, another is fighting for a better place finish to earn themselves a bit more money in as far as the league is concerned. There's not been many Premier League meetings between these two sides. In fact, there's only been 3, and Nottingham Forest have never won any. It's such a small sample space because one ended in a draw and one in a victory for Sunderland. You have to go back to 1996 when Sunderland beat Nottingham Forest by 4 goals to 1. And then the reverse fixture ended in a 1-1 draw. That's the 96-97 league season. And then this season, when Sunderland went out to the City Ground and beat up against Nottingham Forest by a goal to nil. It was one of the surprise results early on in the season because that game was played back in September. So, of course, Nottingham Forest will be looking to plot their revenge. But a part of them, as they go through that fixture, I do not have the luxury. I don't think they have the luxury to be that they should be thinking about the Aston Villa game. Not because it's not winnable, but because I think this is far more important. What makes the other equally important is that they are fighting for a piece of silverware. And when you go back to, when you reflect on the kind of summer that they had in respect to a transfer window, then you ought to acknowledge that what they were building towards, or what they were fighting for, was to have a squad sufficient enough that could compete favorably in the Premier League as well as also the Europa League front. Unfortunately for them, where they've done well in the UEFA Europa League, they have not compensated for the Premier League. That's why they are in this relegation battle as we speak. So it's going to be a very, very difficult game. Sunderland just got beat last weekend by Aston Villa by 4 goals to 3. Really, Nottingham Forest were winning at home against Burnley. So what that implies is that I would fancy Nottingham Forest to go and make a 2-1 win away. And maybe it's more wishful than it is objective, but my basis or grounds for that is that, first of all, they have the players capable of winning a game at the Stadium of Light. Now, the Stadium of Light is a very, very difficult place to go and win a game of football. We've seen so many big teams go there and fail to win. But I also take the encouragement of knowing that teams like, I think, Fulham and Liverpool have gone there and won games, So if you're Nottingham Forest with Matt Sells, Moriro, Milenkovic, Neko Williams, Ola Aina, Ibrahim Sangare, Elliot Anderson, who recently unfortunately lost his mom, Morgan Gibbs-White, Omari Hudson, Chris Wood, I don't think he's back, I don't know, but he did suffer injury. So, I mean, I'm thinking to myself, unfortunately, I think Callum Hudson-Odoi got injured, so he's not expected to feature in that one. I suspect, last I checked, he had sustained an injury that would sort of keep him out of this particular fixture, So I think, and I'd want to believe, that when you look at those kinds of players, Diane Bakwa, are capable of going there and winning you a game of football because of the significance of the occasion for Nottingham Forest. You win that game, you go to 36, is it 36 or 39 points? I think 36 points. Sorry, 39 points, yes. And on 39 points, you then pile a bit or more pressure on a team like Leeds United, who are not going to be playing this weekend because they have already played their match day 34 fixture and are going to be playing in the FA Cup over the weekend. So you get to go within a point behind them. And then you look on the Sunderland side, of course, just like Nottingham Forest have the tools to hurt Sunderland, is the same way Sunderland have those tools that can hurt Nottingham Forest. And the bad thing about this is that you have a range of teams that are playing opponents against whom they have nothing to lose. Teams that have nothing to lose are very, very dangerous. And what do I mean by that? Like I said, Nottingham Forest have their Premier League status to lose. It is a stake. On the other side, Sunderland have nothing to lose. In any case, they are already steered into safety, but they are not going to be relegated. Two teams have their fate literally sealed. That's Wolverhampton Wanderers and Burnley. So the question is, who is going to be the third team? Is it going to be Tottenham Hotspur? Is it going to be West Ham? Is it going to be Nottingham Forest? Because at the moment, those are the three most likely candidates. They are the three most likely candidates. And because that is the case, Jesus Christ, guys, our image is so poor. I'm not encouraged to proceed. Our image is so poor. Image quality. I wish there was a way to refresh a live as opposed to ending it. I wish there was a way to refresh it as opposed to ending it. Anyways, like I was saying, so your players, they have Granit Xhaka, Noah Sadiki, Habib Diarra, Enzo Lifi, Brian Brobby, etc. All these players that are capable of hurting Nottingham Forest and are capable of getting a result, But at the expense of Nottingham Forest, you're fighting for survival. Every fixture must feel like a final, particularly in the Premier League, because it is already semi-final in the Europa League. So I cannot stress the significance or the importance of that any further. But in the Premier League, it's your life at stake. It's your Premier League status at stake. It's Evangelos Marinakis' bragging rights at stake. He's done so much in so little time to try and keep this Nottingham Forest side as competitive as possible, as as good as he possibly can. It's come at the cost of buying many big players. It's come at the cost of buying players, some of whom have not worked out. It's come at the cost of trying out with so many managers, some good, others not so good. You know. Hi, Rio Dandy. Yes, Liam sacked. Yeah, that was communicated. Liam, do let me know what's your experience of the broadcast. Is there any glitch on your end? Because on my side, the image quality in terms of testing has not come out perfectly well, and I don't know. I don't know. Is the audio okay? Are we good to continue? Anyways, so it's basically that. It's basically that. So that's why I went for, I'm saying, yes, the camera quality is buffering. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't feel encouraged to proceed. It's because of the internet quality. My internet speed is too poor. And I was thinking, I cut this one short and then we do the broadcast again. Let me first check my speed test. But my speed test is showing different figures or showing figures that are not that bad, you know. Okay, so what do you guys suggest? Chelsea needs Thomas to go back. That's a Rio Dandy. Rio Dandy, simple question to you. Should we end the broadcast and restart it again, or should we proceed as is? If you give me that feedback, that will determine our next course of action. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think, guys, we should do? Do we bring the broadcast one end, the premature end, and restart it? Okay. Rio Dandy says, let's restart it. So, guys, let's call this one weekend preview, part one. Part one, and to be continued in part two. So let's end this one and restart it again. Unfortunately, internet has done us dirty, so we have to redo it.